Hey there, everybody. Robert Taylor with Wonderscape Creations, continuing on with our Narrative Pro series, doing a little bonus episode for the dialogue. There was a question that was popping up in the Narrative Pro Discord about how to add images to the player's responses, kind of like in the Dragon Age or the Mass Effect series, where you'd get these little image hints that would tell you that this is a wise response or an intimidating response or a funny response or stoic response, things like that, to help the player understand what they're actually about to commit to. So we're going to go ahead and get that working in this episode. It's actually very easy. Um, we are going to have to actually go and mess with one of the widgets. I'm not going to go heavily into messing with into widget and UI stuff right now because as the Narrative Pro UI stands, it is all very heavily interlocked one with another. So I can't just simply swap out a widget with another without running into another error. I've noticed that time and time again. So for now, we're just going to modify the widget that's within the plugin, and that way you know how it's done. So that if you have your own UI, you can easily make it happen. Otherwise, make sure you remember before you update that you did this, or you're going to lose that small bit within your UI. It's easy to replace. It doesn't take very long to replace because it's literally just a couple of nodes, but it can be frustrating. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is we need to go into Narrative Pro and Dialogue. Oh, not characters. Then Dialogue. And I've gone ahead and I've created a BP World Creator Dialogue Node player. So I put the WC, you don't have to put the WC. Essentially, just go into Blueprint class and type in dialogue node, and you'll see underscore player. I created my own BP. Go ahead and create your own BP now so that we have it. The next thing we are going to do is open up that node. Once you have it open up, we need to add two variables. The first one is a map. If you don't know what a map is, essentially think of it like a two-slotted array system. So, you know, you can have, and they both correspond with each other. I click on this, come up here. We have our type here, and then our key, or the map's value, key, map value. So it it sounds complicated. I promise it's not. Create the this map now. How you do that is name it. Come up here to variable type. You see right here this icon. Hit the down arrow. Select map. Then we need to find type gameplay tag. So look for the gameplay tag. It's going to be blue. And then for the right variable, texture 2D. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to create 3. I've already created 3, obviously. You can create more, you can create less. It's really completely and entirely up to you. Right now, we're just getting it to work. I didn't have any images, so I chose images that were already part of the engine. And I created these gameplay tags. So came in here, I hit this green plus sign, and then I named it. I made sure I had a source, and I hit add new tag. As you can see, duplicate keys are not allowed in map properties, so because confident is already somewhere in here, it won't let me put it there. That's important to note. It does not allow for duplicates, so it's very clean and efficient. So once you have this set how you want, the next thing we need is this dialogue response type, which is of type gameplay tag, because this is what you are going to be messing with. So you need this here. You can change it if you want to be directly under dialog image. That way you're already where you need to be, but I'm not going to do that for now um, because this is just my example project. This isn't my actual project. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to go into the project settings. And we need to scroll all the way down on this left window and find ourselves the narrative dialogue editor. And this player default player dialogue class we need to change right there. Now that we have that set in the settings, the next thing we need to do is we need to create an interface. As you see, I have one right here. So just right click, search for interface. You'll see blueprint interface. Create it, name it what you want. And I have mine right here called get texture. And it's literally just a function that has an output of a type texture 2D that I've named image. Now that that's created, we can make everything work much easier. So go ahead and close out that BPI, that interface, and come back to your, where is it? Your dialog node. And we need to go to class settings because we need to implement that interface we just made. So make sure you select class settings and under implement interface, hit add and search for the name of the interface you just created for our dialog, which will then provide you with a function called get textures. I need you to open that up. And then simply all we're going to do is pull in response type, pull out of the response type and search for find, and then put in the dialog response type, place that in there, and insert the image. That's it. Now we need to go into the widget. So make sure you compile and save. Come in here into the widget. Sorry, I have two of them. I have my my notes one and then the original one. And because it's so intertwined, it's giving an error because it can't use that, which is fine. We're going to ignore it. Actually, I'll disconnect it so we don't even have that showing up. So now we need to go into the event graph. Oh, I'm in the dialog. I should probably tell you where we're going. We need to head to the Narrative Pro content folder, Narrative Tails, Narrative UI, Widgets, and we want the WBP narrative button underscore dialog option. Go ahead and open that up. Now, once we've done that, we need to add a couple of things here to this. The first thing we want is a size box. And I'm going to place that just right there. Because I want it, actually want it right there. There we go. I want it between the arrow and the word. You can place it on the ends if you want. If you can put it in between these two if you want. You can even be crazy and make additional changes. Me personally, don't do that yet until you're ready to deeply modify the UI yourself to make it your game. We just want to make it work for the moment. Now that we have the size box, we need to hit the width override and height override, and we're going to choose 30 and 30. We happen to know if we select this box, if you look up here where you see selection, we have 250 by 30. So we know that it's 30 high. So technically we didn't need to override the height, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So now we know we're going to have a perfectly square image. The next thing we need to search for is an image. And I'm going to place that inside my size box. And I will name this image reply type image. And I'm going to mark it as is variable. It's important to mark that is as an is variable, or you're not going to be able to do this next part. Now we need to jump into the graph. So here in the top right, select graph, and in event construct, we have right here the player reply. I believe that's what we have here. Yes, the player reply is what we're looking for. And I have everything. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to set within the designer. That way, if there's no image, you're not seeing this white square. Come over here on the brush under appearance, draw as none. It's empty. There you go. You don't have to worry about it. Obviously, if you want to, you can make it smaller, do whatever you want. I'm just showing you how to get it to work. Next, come in here to graph. Over here at the end where you see this branch for set render opacity, we're going to bring that down over here. Disconnect this real quick. And we want the player reply, so we're going to type get. Oh, yeah. Get player reply. Excuse me. And then from there, we can just type that function get texture. And this is what we made in the blueprint interface. This allows us to not have to cast to our player dialog node. And now we have the image. The next thing we want to do is we want to make sure it's valid. Because you could have, you could choose to have one that's an empty, so there's nothing there. If so, if it's not valid, we just want it to go ahead and do this. Do what it's supposed to. If it is valid, there's a couple things we need to do. First thing we need to do is grab our new image, reply type image, and pull out and do set brush. That will be that. Plug that into the branch because that's where it's going to end up. And then we will pull out of the end brush and select make slate brush. And we'll open this bad boy up. Then the next thing we need to do is I'm going to pull out the reply type image again and choose break. Oh no, choose the brush, get brush. Now we break. We're gonna open it up. We want to connect the tint, the tiling, the mirroring, the image size, the margin, and the outline settings. For draw as, remember we changed it to none. We now want to keep it as image. And our new image that we have all the way over here, we can plug in right there. And sets it as an image. Now, obviously it's dirty, so if you wanted to create a variable for the image so that you can just plug it in right there, you can. Again, I'm doing this the short way, not necessarily the clean way. And now, let me verify with my reference here. Yep, everything is set correctly. Now let's hit compile and save. Now then, now that you have that set, we've got some changes to make. I'm not sure the repercussions that you will have, but it's something important to note. If you want to be cautious, you can save everything, close it, and open it back up. I'm not sure if it's just me or what, but now that you've set your new player node, the old player nodes are still there because that's what the system knew to make. So there's going to be a little bit of not repairing, but replacing to do. So as an example, I have here these our nodes here. These ones, as you can see, are still regular player nodes, but this one right here, it's named after my node because I had to replace them. And I had to replace them because I wanted access to our dialogue response type that the player has. So now whenever you create a new add player response, it's going to be the one, your custom one that you made, but all of your old ones are still the old ones. So all of the player ones need to be replaced. So if you have an extensive project, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. So you will want to make sure you still have, don't just automatically delete the nodes. Copy paste everything from the nodes into your new node, and then come down here, verify that the responses are still how you put them in the player. Then you get to choose what the dialogue response type is. For me, I already have mine set to confident and angry. So compile and save. Once you have everything set up, we hit play. Give everything a second here. I come and talk to Frank. Look at that. Got my stuff here. Not sure why the images are a funny shape. Give me a second. I found it. Go back into the widget, and I made this center and center size box. I believe that's what I did in here. Let me verify real quick. Yes, I have it centered and centered. That way you don't have to worry about it. Now if we hit play, there's always something that gets missed. Hop in here. There we go. It's not stretched. It looks nice. And it works for the player being able to see what type of response it's going to be. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little bonus episode. I'm now going to hop back into getting everything ready for quests, and I will see you in the next episodes. Have a good one.